welcome back to part 4 of the pink Spitfire build. Yeah, you enjoyed watching part 3 and the covering going on. Here it is on the bench, and now I'm going to continue with part 4. So what am I going to start with? That's a very good question. I've got here a tail wheel. I've got 2 tail wheels. I'm spoilt for choice. I like this one because it's got a chromy centre to it, and it's slightly smaller, which will look slightly more scale-like. Angle wise they're pretty much identical, so I'm going to have a go with this one. Now this one is mounted in a little bit of ply with a zigzag, which is quite nice. So all I've got to do is to cut a slot in the bottom and glue that in. The grain goes that way. I don't want it to split out past the end, so I'm going to go a little bit wider than I need to on this, just to make sure it doesn't happen. You can go in, it won't matter. It'll rattle down. Yeah, I'll epoxy that in. I'll make it slightly wider, but I'll epoxy it in. I'm wondering now, the model's coming up to 7 ounces perhaps with the battery, which is a lot more than I initially planned. And I'm just wondering if this motor, I think it's good for up to about that weight. So, I mean, I've got it. It's going to be easy enough to try, but I think I'll try it. Okay, so that goes like that, and then the propeller goes on there, and then the rubber band goes over the 2 screw heads around the front of the prop. The motor will be quite easy to pack out for the right thrust if I need to. Right, so there is the motor installed. Dinky little thing, isn't she? It'll hold the prop in just the right place, just there. Looks small, but don't worry. The ESC is matched to the motor. It's a 5 amp job, the size of a postage stamp. I'm not going to use the tiny little receiver because the plugs on the servos are standard size plugs. So I've got, and I'm going to put in a standard size receiver. The servos will go into this receiver, and therefore I need to change the plug on that to go in where the motor goes. So a standard signal, a standard plug. Shame I can't make a little adapter, really, isn't it? Anyway, I've got to change the plug on that, so we'll leave that out for a minute. Wow, do you know, I think we're getting close to fitting the wings, you know. Once the wings are on, let me talk you through it. I put the wings through, and then I fit the aileron push rods in like that. They go all the way down. The aileron servos clip onto those. I've got to still make some wire clips. And once the wings are on and that's in, then I cover the bottom. Right, so as you can see, that's gone through the rod there, and the rod then has to be fixed. Maybe I'll put a peg or something on the wing, and that rod will come up to a certain point inside. I've got to glue the rod to the carbon. Okay, so that can be glued onto there. And I thought I might use some, I'll CA it and then put some micro balloons around. This joint is critical, it can't come apart, so I'm going to say I've got some micro balloons. I'll add those around the joint. I have sanded the carbon rod. Turn it over and start to think about the rods that connect from the servo to the arms. That's what it looks like now in there, look. So it's the outer servos need to go to the arms on the side. I've got one fixed up, guys. Went quite nicely, but I don't think this is going to work. The amount of flex in a piece of carbon rod is just enormous. This is it all connected up, but look at that. I don't think it's going to fly with that. It looks loose, but it's not loose. It's all, there's no slack in it whatsoever. I mean, I can show you. I'm going to put that bit of paper in to stop it snagging. If I show you it work, I mean it works. It's working really nicely. But there's just so much twist in that little rod. It's because originally I thought the servos could mount down here and bear directly on the wing, so it couldn't flop anywhere. That would just be 2 points of contact, servo at the back. I've got two choices. One, I glue the wing together and cut ailerons, ideally out there somewhere, but at the minimum I could put them here, I suppose. Or I try and fit the servo further back where I originally had the idea to fit them. Shame really, because that little mechanism works really well inside, surprisingly well. So this is what I'm thinking, guys. If I place the servo about there, I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it to the wing yet, but maybe a little ply bracket and just turn the wire into it. It looks ugly. The bottom of a Spitfire has, let me show you on the Grillos one, that's pretty much in the same position as that. So all I need to do is make a couple of covers to go over it, and the servos, this one's a bit slimmer but I can widen it out just slightly. I can put those, or the equivalent, on the bottom of mine, and those servos will be disappeared. So I've got two little platforms. On those platforms I'll fix the servos, and I've got made up these little things which may or may not work, but we'll give them a go. I'll glue that servo on there, glue that block on there somewhere sort of like that. Can't see it now, but that block will be glued on there, and then the ball link will allow a little bit of movement in theory, and then I'll put my casing over the top here, and all you'll see is this part, but that will be painted black anyway. Decided I took off the balsa plates I put there because I've moved the servos back, and I've also found some 1/32 ply which is better, so they're going to go back there somewhere. I know it's behind the CG, but only just behind it, so it won't make a huge difference, but it sets the geometry up a little bit better. Right, we'll give that a little while to set, and then we'll come back. So the black paint is dry. I put a little bit of string through so as I can pull the servo wires through. I'm now going to put on the two pieces of covering. This isn't the best time to need to sneeze, is it? I feel I've got one coming on. That's got to go down to the base. Okay. Don't forget there is a small amount of shrinking available to me in this covering, so okay, that's not too bad. Right, I'm going to get a nice sharp scalpel blade, and then I'll be able to trim that and put the other side on. Back in a minute. It's been an hour, so let's have a go at stretching out that fabric and see how we get on. Just want to protect what I've already done here. Just put a bit of paper over that. Oops. You see it goes all soft, and then when you pull the heat away it tightens out. I'm going to stop there and just make sure that is stuck. Yeah, see these are tightened out okay. These have. Just do out a little bit more. switch it off. And there we go. And the servos are going to sit just there with a ball link going down to a piece of wood which is attached to there, and hopefully that'll work quite well. Just got to take out a little section of wood here for it to come back into this area, and then the servos will be disguised with air intake underneath. The servos are now glued in and their little bearers are fixed to the inside rib. I want the positive wing this way, go a little bit more than that I think. Negative wing I'll leave not a lot. That's effectively down aileron, although it's going up. It's presenting the leading edge to the wing lower, so it's actually down. Right, gentlemen and ladies, I've put on a little tab here, look, to make it easy to open the front there and hold it up. So I've got a little tab there, so just lift that off, nice and easy. The equipment is installed. I haven't done anything with this underneath yet, but the ESC is on and powered up. Well, it will be powered up. I've just put the propeller on, so I'm just going to have a little go at powering up the motor with the prop on. Okay, let's just do it there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Let's just bring it forward a little bit. I want to hold it up in the air and get that feel as well. So here we go. Engine on. It's interesting vibration. Where's that coming from? Let's just hold it up. It's actually coming from the whole structure, I think, from the wings and everything. Well, that's pulling. It wouldn't take its own weight. But I would say that's got plenty of power. That was good. Okay, have a look at the underneath, because I've got to cover those servos up, make the covers for those, and make the undercarriage doors and fix them, put the wheels on. So yes, there we are. Good progress. I've got to go away now and make something like these, probably just out of paper, and the undercarriage doors. So it's pretty much like that. Okay guys, been busy. I've knocked out a couple of wheel pants, wheel covers, and made some little plywood grips. And they go. I've tissued them. The actual doors themselves are actually 16th balsa, but I've tissued them because obviously, maybe not obviously, I've tissued them because the grain runs this way and they're vulnerable. But I'll glue these onto there like that, and there's my wheel covers. And the wheels, there's one wheel, oops, there's one wheel, let's pop that on. Wheels will go like that. The cover will go up there to about there like that. And I've also made some covers for the servos. They're only paper, a little bit of balsa on the inside. Crude, very crude. They'll fit over the servo like that. And I'll just glue them. I'll probably just glue them to the top of the servo like that. I'll give these a lick of paint and they can glue on then. Let's just see if this will hold it. Probably have to put a little weight on the top there. Use these, I think. Go on at the same time though. Like that. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, there we go, guys, up on our wheels. She's now finished. Didn't have quite enough time today to finish it before our indoor session locally, so it's going to be down Wynnard's Perch. Let me show you how the controls work. Okay, elevator, rudder. Now the wing-arons, whatever they're called, or moving wings anyway, that's right. So this wing has lifted to a more positive angle of attack. And you'll notice it comes up further than it drops down, so I've got a positive angle attack on this wing and not much movement on this wing. I've been sort of reading up on it, and it seems that very little movement's required on the downgoing wing, and the same opposite this way. So I've got quite a lot on the trailing edge, as you can see. It doesn't move a lot on the leading edge, but then it's the trailing edge of the bulk half of the wing behind the pivot is moving. Nice positive throw. So there we have it. She's ready for her maiden flight. I hope you've enjoyed this build series, and don't forget to subscribe down below for the maiden flight. I shall link to the build videos and the maiden flight video when it's done, and you can have a watch of that. Cheers guys, thanks for watching, thanks for looking in. It's been great having you here. Superb. Oh, forgot to say, the pilot is Chris from Dad's RC Hangar. I'll put a little link down below in the description for link to Chris's channel. And yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching.